Beneath the salubrious surface of Germany's capital, there lies an eccentric underworld of slings, abstract art, dubious food, and David Hasselhof Shrines. Truly the stranger side of Berlin. Join us on an odyssey through these weirdest spots, peppered with locations on the conventional tourist trail. But first, let's start with a slap-up German breakfast.
Scrambled eggs and bacon, but I think what makes this German more than anything is the gherkin. We have a good pickle in Germany. And over here we've got fried eggs. Under that, is that like a kind of a square sausage or maybe some spam? Who knows? And here we've got rosti. And the only redeeming thing from a health perspective, the salad on the side. So I think I have my lifetime quota of spam about halfway through that breakfast. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of an offbeat tour today, and where better to start than the Sling King. So, some pretty interesting apparel here. I'm not sure what the pull is meant to signify on that fetching harness. Sling King. Next door you can go to Rub Berlin for a massage. So when you buy your transport ticket in Berlin, you've always got to validate it, like so. If you don't validate it, you're doing something called Schwarzfahren, which means black travelling, i.e. without one of these, which in my mind sounds a bit racist. Berlin, it's got quite an edgy vibe, and today we're going to the outskirts, to an old factory, which has now been converted into a modern art exhibition. So we've stopped for a drink, some techno music, and to read the leaflet because I had no idea what was going on in there. So apparently the first one was called Liquid Sky, and it is actually meant to represent a starry sky at night. We didn't spend very long in there. Then we've got the second one, Inverse, that's meant to look like a flock of birds, apparently, in synchronised flight. And then the third one, what was that called? Circular, and that's meant to be a weightless dance in the void of darkness, so it's all pretty cryptic. 4 more to go after this, so let's see what they hold in store. Make your own techno party.
Houston, we have a problem.
Right, it's 4 in the afternoon, and that techno club behind us is already open and absolutely banging, and people are already making their way in. Okay, right, we're back in the centre of Berlin after more eccentric places and experiences. We're Berlin Tour continues. This is a shop purely dedicated to the green man on the traffic lights. Loving the green man merch.
Esponjas. De baño.
So we've just come across this disgusting food museum. It's piqued our interest, so we're heading in. So this is the first museum I've been to that they've given us a vomit bag at the start of the tour. So we're at Corona Corner here with the fruit bat soup. Two of my favourites from the drink section, beaver anal gland juice, and from China again we've got here some three penis liquor. The three penises in question are seal penis, deer penis and Cantonese dog penis. Chinese mouse wine for liver diseases and asthma. Apparently it tastes a bit like gasoline. It's a faithful recreation of a frog juice stand from Peru. Pickled sheep eyeballs and tomato juice. Delicacy in Mongolia, otherwise known as a Mongolian Mary. So apparently this is a special table used in China for eating monkey brains. So they would put the monkey in this box in the middle of the table, screw its head in place, the waiter would then open the monkey's head up and the guests could just scoop the brains out there and then. Fried tarantula, a delicacy in Cambodia. So we've got a turtle soup in front of us here. Apparently it's quite gamey in taste, but it can be all yours after this 9-step recipe here. Maggot cheese, so the maggots feast on the cheese, and then the excrement they produce is a soft cheese that is a delicacy in Sardinia. Another disgusting food, Hall of Famer from China, bull's penis. The goat of disgusting foods, haggis, still banned in the US. I feel like I'm on a personal, I'm a celebrity here. What have we got? This is maggots? No, buffalo worms. Buffalo worms. Right, I'll give them a go. Right. Oh yeah. They've just got quite like a light nutty texture to them. Mealworms? Again, they're just kind of quite crispy, quite nutty. Don't think I'll be taking any home with me. Crickets. Look at that. Oh yeah, they've got a bit more fat to them than the mealworms, the buffalo worms. Oh. So what? Grasshoppers? God, look at that bad boy. Oof. Right. I think I'm going head first with this one. That tastes a bit like dry paint, not like around licking walls. Yeah, it tastes Yeah, yeah. It tastes a bit, it tastes like dry paint to me. It's a bit of a weird kind of chemically type taste, isn't it? Yeah. What's this one? Silk Grill. Thailand. Right. That's got a bit of a rancid aftertaste to that one. Not sure about that. What's this one? Sago worm. Yeah, this looks like dried fruit. But apparently it's a worm. That's got quite a fermented aftertaste to it. That's pretty rank. So this is fermented cabbage juice from Turkey. Surprisingly refreshing, quite vinegary, quite salty at the end. I've heard they have it with fish, so I can see it pairing with that very nicely. So this is durian, a very pungent fruit from Southeast Asia. I've always wanted to try this actually. It's got a bit of a rancid raw onion taste at the end, but it's quite sweet at the start. So, don't want to make it that one. So this is cheese made in the stomach of a baby sheep. Quite sharp, quite salty, and oh my days, that's got a really strong fermented kick at the end. And we're finishing off with some Marmite. So we're on the home straight here. Yeah, it's Marmite. Nothing wrong with that. So I have survived and avoided resetting the vomit clock. Definitely need something to wash my mouth out after all the worms, locusts, cheese, Marmite and cabbage juice. So we've just stumbled across a load of German monuments made out of chocolate. So we've got here the Reichstag that we've not seen yet. What we're going to see, the Brandenburg Gate. God, that's absolutely bloody massive, isn't it? To the right, the Brandenburg Gate, the Victory Column again. We've not seen that. Now that looks like that church that we saw on the first day, that hexagonal church. Oh yes, it is, because look, to its right is the Hollow Tooth. So after personal I'm a celebrity, I thought I deserved a little treat. So we're at a chocolate cafe in Berlin. Lovely view of the cathedral behind us. I've got myself a little pumpkin spice dessert here. So good that it pains me to eat it, but let's cut in. Oh, it's like a mousse. A bit of biscuit below. Okay, so it's a two-piece job. Very fragrant, spicy, creamy. Just the type of thing that I won't be eating as autumn arrives. We're off the weird tour and back on the normal tour for a few stops. So we're at checkpoint Charlie. This was the principal crossing in the Cold War between West Berlin behind us and East Berlin just in front of us there. It was called Checkpoint Charlie because it was military checkpoint C. As you can see, very much on the tourist trail these days. Right, so what was once a dangerous flashpoint in a potential nuclear war between America and Russia is now surrounded by a Hard Rock Cafe to the left, a McDonald's just behind it, and just behind the sign itself, a KFC. Heading to the next stop on the normal Berlin tour. Should only be about 10 minutes away on foot, or if we're feeling cheeky, we might even get the metro. Right, so we're on Unter den Linden, which is probably the most famous boulevard in Germany. You've got traffic to the left and right. It's called Unter den Linden because linden is these lime trees that you've got each side of the boulevard. And in front of us is probably Germany's most famous monument. It's the Brandenburg Gate. That's where we're heading. So not many more historical sites have seen more than the Brandenburg Gate. It was built at the end of the 18th century. Napoleon paraded through it when he took Prussia. The Nazis used to use it to do their victory parades. It was badly damaged at the end of the Second World War in the Battle of Berlin, yet it just about survived. It then marked the border between East and West Berlin during the Cold War. And it's now seen, because of that, as a sign of European unity, because when the Berlin Wall fell, East Berliners and West Berliners gathered at this point to celebrate the reunification of Berlin and Germany. So a place with a really remarkable history. Inside of the gate itself, you've got these sculptures, or friezes I think they're called, and apparently each of them, if we can avoid the bikes here, it's a bit of an occupational hazard of being a YouTuber, depicts a scene from Greek mythology, apparently a battle between civilized and non-civilized tribes. Right, so back at the Brandenburg Gate here, and the Reichstag, which is the German Parliament, is literally a stone's throw away, just over there. So you can see similar architecture and styles of the Brandenburg Gate, kind of neoclassical, Roman, Greek inspired. I think most famous in history because the Nazis burnt it down when they came to power, then claimed the communists had actually burnt it down in order to reinforce their dictatorship, essentially, that they were establishing within Germany at that time. On the final stop of the Weird Berlin tour before the day ends. Did you know who ended the Cold War? It wasn't Ronald Reagan, nor was it Mikhail Gorbachev, definitely not Thatcher. It was David Hasselhof. In 1989, he released a single, Looking for Freedom, that was a massive hit both in West and East Germany, to the extent he was invited to play it on the Berlin Wall in '89, and subsequently the Berlin Wall fell. We're now going to go to a little shrine of Germany's most famous non-German, so let's go. Entschuldigung, können wir das Hasselhof Museum sehen?
Ja, das ist unten links.
Unten links? Ah, okay, danke schön. Okay. Danke was? We've arrived at our final stop on the Weird Berlin tour. Come in. Signed mural. Collection of Knight Rider paraphernalia, important for any upstanding Hof shrine. Of course, some Baywatch kit, but most importantly of all, a piece of the Berlin Wall that only the man himself could bring down.